As a designer, you're never really done. It's like you just started, but you just started for 4 months, and
Yeah.
you don't get to, it's finished until opening night. But a lot of the process for me at that time, and I think also my other designers, is we need to respond to things that are happening in the room and to things that will eventually be on stage when we get to tech. We got to see a kind of stumble through or piece through before we went off to the winter break. And that's when you kind of learn about what's been happening while you were away and what kinds of collaborations and things have been dreamt up from all these other people that you're working with, but you're kind of away from for a while. And you'll discover the tiniest things that are actually really exciting. One of my favorites was we had this dress, and it's this show was like the sisterhood of the traveling garments. Everybody wore somebody else's things, but specifically there was this dress that went from Whitney to another one of our actors, Trey, and in that stumble through, Trey put the dress on backwards. I'm not sure if he knew he put it on backwards, but it was okay because it was wonderful, and it actually worked very well, and I think it worked very well for the character, and it worked well for the design, and so it stayed to the end, and we ended up with that. And so it's fun little things like that, which you might not even think are that important, but actually became very important towards the end.
The exciting thing about that is there's a design that you created, and there was a mock-up in the room. That was like the first time that he had worked with this mock-up in the room, and that like the collaboration of those three things, and Sarah Kane and the other actors like built a surprise that told the story in a way that we couldn't even imagine if we had just had it in our individual brains.
I also learned a lot about the importance of finding the story and pursuing it. I think a lot of acting school is like you do things in a vacuum, you're working on a scene out of the context of the play, you're working moment to moment, you're doing all these things, and then you're in a play and all of a sudden that moment that you're in is in the context of the greater moment, and it all has to add up to the story of the play. So I learned something about what my process needs to be able to pursue story, especially in a play where the story feels kind of slippery a little bit. Yeah.
I feel like this play offered me the opportunity to practice what I was learning in heightened text with Mary Lou, also what I'm learning in Erica Faye's class about the energy body and energy work. It allowed me to do it all, period. Yeah.
There's so many things in this play that actually feels like perfectly full circle. A lot of the things that I had to do as an actor in this play, I was asking questions about. My first year in Zoom, I remember asking a teacher, like how do I explore these, extreme physical states, and how do I explore extreme vulnerability on the stage, and with my body, and my teacher actually brought it up to me right before opening. She said, "Do you remember when you asked me that question? And look at you now."
What was so special about opening night is I also didn't realize how much tension I had been holding until I released it when that lighter comes up at the beginning of the show on opening night. Not that there weren't times that I cried during the process because it's theater and I'm a crier, but it was the first time I was able to let go and allow myself to cry watching the arc of this story and to just feel something with a whole group of people.
It was the hardest, it's definitely, and is, I feel like I'm still in it, but it was the hardest process I've ever worked on ever in my life. The most personal thing I've done at this school. I've never had as many people come up to me after a performance, and whether they liked it or didn't, say, "I was so moved. I was so moved. I'm feeling so much. I want to come again. I want to understand more. I have like a big question that I'm thinking about. And that's why I make art, and that's why I think a lot of us are interested in making things, especially in this specific form, though I don't want to speak for other people. But I think that was magical. That was magical. And that was really special as a way to kind of like depart from this place, to be able to say, this is me, a part of me. This is a play that I love and that I want you all to be a part of, and this community to be part of. And now I'm like, okay. And now we move on to the next, in another play, working on another play. I don't know what you're doing. We should check in, doing another play. We keep on going.